All right, I'm not gonna lie, we're starting off a little unorthodox for the Wardogs crowd, but I don't want to play armor right now. Okay, we just got to deal with it together. I'm sorry, we're doing some crop dusting. I just can't do it today. What's up, Diaper? We gotta stay hyped for Wardogs, bro. We got to. Somebody said it was like 30 hours away or something. Don't put numbers on it, because then I'm gonna start sitting here and counting. Let me know if the game audio is not working. It's going to be so much quieter than Arma. I didn't even think about that yet. I got to lean way forward to use my keyboard. Hold on. I can make this easier for myself. Just got to move that. There we go. Not hearing game audio at all. Let me crank that. I know you're going to hear it now. I cranked it, people. Come on. Now it's gonna be too loud. All right, I had to activate the super squints there to figure out what I was gonna look at, what I wanted to do with it. Now, if you're in the US, you can win, Diaper. It's a gift, so I can gift it through Steam. It's much easier actually if you're in the US. If you're in anywhere but the US, because of regional restrictions, I have to send a gift card instead. That's equal to the $50 value. Thank you, Simple. Thank you. See, and it's gonna mess up here. It always says stop before the hold short line, but Microsoft doesn't do anything to keep up with their games. And I'm gonna move, and it's gonna say I entered the runway. I guarantee it. Because there is no hold short line at a field. So I'm just going to go. The game can get over it. Air traffic controllers hate this one trick. When did they make that announcement, Rip? Because literally this last weekend I was still having to do it. I didn't see any announcements, so... I mean, it'd be news to me, but it'd be good news, trust me. It's a very complicated process to do the gift cards. I use a full HOTAS, Simple. I've got pretty much Moza everything at this point. I started out with Thrustmaster, and then I got a Warthog, which is the Warthog stick with the throttle. And I've always had, well, until now, I always had the TFPR pedals, the cheap Thrustmaster ones. They work great. And then I upgraded about a month ago to Moza AB6, Moza stick, Moza flight pedals, and I use a Verpal Collective. I've used that for a long time. July 22nd, 2025, Rip. Well, I'm telling you now, this last weekend, I gifted a lot of games to people. And anybody from Europe, I could not gift it to. I had to give gift cards. It kept saying there was a region lock, and people could not accept the game. So maybe that's just your region that it changed in. I don't know. But from my own experience this past weekend, it was not great. Any cheap HOTAS option out there, Weaver says. Looking for Logitech Extreme 3D Pro Precision. Don't want to cost more than 50 at first. That's fair. If you're just going to play Wardogs with it, don't go crazy. Anything like 50, any entry-level stick is going to be great. Just make sure it has a Z-axis, which is when it can, like, this is going to be the most sus motion I'm going to make on the stream tonight. But it's when it's when the stick can go like this, like back and forth. If it can do that, like to emulate pedals, then you're good to go. It doesn't matter how cheap it is, it'll work. What's up, Tyler? Stream just started. I know it's going to be a little off speed for the crowd, for Wardogs, but I can't play Arma. I just can't do it today. There's too much going on in Arma right now for me. I'm just going to chill and do some crop dusting. Maybe do some search and rescue later, and then if everybody's bored of it, in like an hour, we can switch to DCS, but we'll see. I'm mostly just here to hang out and chat about Wardogs, though. That's the biggest thing. Been building a sim pit. Dude, I need to build an actual pit. I don't live in like a big house anymore. We downsized, so I really don't have space for a sim pit or the money for a sim pit. So I'm happy with what I have, but a sim pit would be really cool. We are a little bit off course here. We need to come this way to get to our field. What's up, Zinger? Appreciate you stopping by. Yeah, the Wardog stuff is going to keep coming. Don't worry. I just don't have access to the game right now, so I'm stuck playing things like Microsoft Flight Simulator. Oh, yeah, Tyler. I was here to have a good time and chat. I don't think people were really caring about the Arma gameplay before anyways. It was just more on brand with like the whole Wardogs gig. So, but I'm just trying, like I said, I'm just trying to like have us chill. I'm sure people are going to come in and see it's not till midnight and then disappear until midnight or forget to come back. That happens a lot too. And speaking of, this is about to be risky because I got to tab out, but let's see. Okay, yeah, we are tracking on the giveaway. Everything's working correctly. So that's awesome. Good things do happen to good people, they say. Yeah, you're right. That is very true. Oh, it just like cranked my head to the side. Don't want that. No, don't. It's not resetting, it's just recentering me, which I don't want it to do that. There we go. I think the mic was in the way. We'll have to move the mic slightly. Any specific day I'll be streaming the test? I don't know. What do you guys, because like there's a bunch of big streamers that are going to be streaming it. So I was like, I don't even know if I'm going to bother. But if you guys are going to hang out, you tell me when's best for you, because I was planning on recording during the day and streaming in the afternoon to evening, but I can stream a lot of it and just record on the side. So I don't care either way as long as people are hanging out. It's a little, it just cuts down. It's not that I have to have attention. It just cuts down on the amount that I record and like have focused like recording stuff to take care of when I'm streaming. Because I don't like to, it already posts my VOD. So I don't like to cut up the VOD and then make it a video usually, unless like that was my purpose. So there's our truck and a giant pole that I didn't see at first, even though it's painted orange and white. Looks like we got a windmill over there, we got trees over here, and we have a nice approach from the field over there. So we'll just swing back around while we drop altitude. You're our big streamer. Thank you, Jesse. I don't know how many of you believe that, but I do appreciate you believing that. I'll certainly stream. I just don't want to miss out on recording time. We'll see if the game accepts that landing. Sometimes it'll just freak out. And now it's like super loud. All right, so now we gotta set our field in the little computer here. And then we mark the field by A, B, and C, and the computer will, just like a agricultural computer that works in a tractor is my understanding, it will know the size of the field and everything just off of the 3 points that it calculates. That's pretty cool. Okay, and we go off to spot B, which is the other end of the field here. Yeah, this is Microsoft Flight Sim. We're going to do a little ag spraying. I didn't feel like running any Arma today, so this is what you get for now. I mean, if everybody's totally not with it, in like 30 minutes to an hour, I can swap over to DCS, or we can do some search and rescue. I gotta take, see, I should be using my left hand to set the parameters, but I'm just putting my collective and leaving it where it's at to try to maintain power. It's just not working out. Boom. And then now the computer's got a nice field for me, and it wants me to follow that blue line. So that's what we're gonna do. So I'm not going to have any access to, well, I guess I could like jump in the firing range and show some stuff off. You're not wrong there, but, you know, they're not giving anybody access that I know of beforehand. Like everybody, well, they'll probably give the, give it like before, but not crazy like to specific people or anything. I gotta get a little lower here. And we gotta speed up. Dang, we're just not focused at all. So is everybody jumping on immediately on Friday, or do weekend plans get in the way? Because I can tell you my weekend plans are messy. Not that they got in the way. It's my wife's birthday this weekend, so that will come first. But I will be making time where I can. Well, this isn't going to work out. That approach was not going to work. The field isn't shaped like that. We'll just do a quick 180 here. Yeah, firing range in Wardogs. So if it's going to be like the Alpha, for the Alpha they released the firing range like a few hours before they actually released or opened the servers. So, what's up, Schlop? So my expectation would be we get firing range again before the servers are open, just so everybody can get comfortable and run the tutorial. YouTube's being weird. What's wrong, brother? Wow, it's so loud. 10 plus hours, brother, I'm gonna be spending like another 40. I spent 37 something, yeah, 37 hours last play test. I'm gonna try to every night, all night, I think is what I'm gonna be doing. And my daughter just started school again this week, so during the day I'm pretty open as well, other than the birthday day, of course. Are you guys having issues with the stream? Somebody said dropping frames. I'm not having any issues on my end. So if it is the stream, let me know. I don't remember the exact time it opened. It did open early last time, and I want to say it was like a few hours. So it was supposed to open at noon, I think. Maybe 9 or 10 the firing range went live, my time. So like a 2-hour, 3-hour early. Don't quote me. I don't work for them. So I don't have any of the actual intel. I'm just going off of what I remember. Hell yeah, Tyler, the official bedtime streamer. I don't know if I'm bedtime. I guess this is bedtime material. Come Wardogs time, it won't be bedtime material. I'll be making all kinds of noise. I had a dude, I was just excited, you know? It's a crime to be excited in gaming these days, I guess. I had a guy tell me that I needed to stop being the way I was on one of my drop-offs. I'm doing terrible in this field. It's just an awkward shape. The comment section. Thanks, Zinger. Appreciate you. I would go with OK Pilot. You know, we hug some trees sometimes, even in Flight Sim. We are coming in hot. We gotta fix that. Oh, we fixed it a little too hard. All right, so I asked about it a bunch last stream. Nobody had answers for me because I was wrong and it hadn't come out yet. I don't have Battlefield downloaded right now, and I really don't want to re-download it, especially just because of how busy I'm going to be this weekend. However, is the new update worth it? Is being a Wizzo fun? I need to know these things. We're just going to call that good on the field. It's a terrible job, but I'm just trying to chill. I'm not trying to OCD this thing. Maybe we'll jump straight over to search and rescue because I'm just not feeling it all of a sudden on the crop dusting. Oh, Schlupp. I can't see, Schlupp, what you said in reference to companies, but yeah, a lot of companies have been putting out some slop recently, unfortunately. Well, you know, everybody's gonna be hugging trees in Wardogs. There's no stopping that. So everybody's gonna learn. And I know like most of the people who are probably here right now are the people who are going to be flying. But if you're on the ground and you have a pilot that crashes, one, don't get back in with them. Because if you get back in with them and they crash, it's your fault, not theirs. And two, be patient with them because a lot of the beta people jumping in haven't touched the flight controls yet and they are excited. So let them be excited. But if they're doing stupid shit, like I do stupid shit. I'm not going to sit here and say like, don't do what I do. Do it if you want to. But understand if you crash, it's your fault. I don't, it's never anybody else's fault unless I get punched to death, which that did happen one time, or they are putting their gun in my face so I can't see. Like, that's the griefing you can do. But if that's not happening and I crash the way I'm flying, it's on me 110%. And I have a 2-crash policy. If I crash twice in a row, with people or not, even if it's like on a flight back where I'm messing around, I either take a break from flying for like 10, 15 minutes, go get a snack, or I just stop for like 30 minutes. I'm not going to do that this time. I'll take like a 5-minute break, but I'm not going to just stop because those breaks turned into me being away for hours, and I regretted that after the weekend was over. I mean, you can leave your helicopter locked too, Schlupp. You don't have to unlock it. You can just get in and fly around. The giveaways for everybody, brother. It's so it's easiest for me to do. I don't want to say that. Like, I've got a process down pretty decent now, but we ran into some issues with people outside the United States. I can send you a gift card for the value of the game, but then it's going to transition into maybe getting you close to that value, So everybody that has gotten close but were just under, I offered to pay the difference, and you can ask them, I did, and they all declined. So that's how that's gone. But I will get you as close to or at the total of the game as I can with gift cards if you're not in the US. Well, another thing too, Jessica, that I do is I have to prove to myself that I'm capable again. So then I'll get right back in the helicopter and try the dumb shit immediately again. And I'll get worse. I'll go faster and I'll find smaller gaps and I'll end up crashing again, and then I'll get tilted and then I'll go again. So it just creates a vicious cycle. Why not professional? The people deserve a chance. It's only going to be one tonight, and it's going to be the last one. But yeah, I'm going to give away a supporter copy at midnight. How hard was it to become a helicopter pilot? It is expensive. And that motivates you to not mess up. So as long as you just stay locked in, you're not wasting money. And that's a great motivator. So I didn't find it extremely difficult. The final test is pretty hard. You have to go in front of what's called a DPE and explain to them everything about a helicopter that you should know at that point. And it's up to them whether or not you pass. They have like a little booklet they have to follow, but overall it's like a confidence thing as well that they can look into. And then you have to do a flying test where like one mess up means you're done. So it's intense, but I didn't find it overly difficult, if that makes sense. And then like the money factor really drives you to do well. Because if you're paying that money and you're not studying, or you're paying that money and you're not trying to learn how to fly well, you're wasting it all. And then you're gonna have to pay even more money because you can't go to the test until you know the things. I think it's that field over there. I think we're in the pattern right now. I mean, the iPad says so, but yeah, I think it was that field. Yeah, there was a few times, Weaver, that I would spawn two things, leave one locked, and then fly the other for a little bit. That worked out well for me, because it'd be something that I'd take out the Rocket Bird, and the Rocket Bird doesn't control as well, and I would also overcommit to my strafing runs with the Rocket Bird. So I would hit a lot of trees with that thing. It does not feel so. Battlefield 6 is super arcade, and so it's hard to compare. Like, I've gotten even GTA 5 questions on the YouTube and comments, and then but like it doesn't compare, because those are very arcade. They limit you from doing certain things. To an extent, you can set up your controls the same way, but the game isn't going to feel the same at all. So Wardogs is more of a simcade. It's right in the middle, so it kind of pisses off both sides. The sim people get upset because they want more realism, and then the arcade people get upset because they want, and I don't want to say they want it to be Battlefield per se, or like War Thunder, but they don't want it to be as difficult as it is sometimes. But I personally think the arcade guys learning the model have a lot more fun than the sim guys do, because so far a lot of the sim guys that have complained are just being miserable about it, and they're just saying, oh, there's no VRS, there's no ground effect, there's no rotor stall. Like, it's just, why are we upset about this? It's an FPS that is giving us the option to fly a helicopter and matter to the team. So I don't get why people are upset about it. I think it's a really cool thing. I think it's a good expansion from like the ARMA series of flight models and the importance of a pilot from the ARMA series, and it builds upon that really well. I think the most egregious flight model for me has to be War Thunder. they model things well, and they even have auto rotation, but the helicopters just are on rails. You can go anywhere at any time and do anything, and you're fine. I think it's not bad. You just have to know what it is. So I'm not calling it bad. It's just the most sim feeling, other than like maybe a GTA or, I mean, Battlefield. But Battlefield, I'd argue that Battlefield flight model is more unforgiving than War Thunder even. Because, I mean, War Thunder has VRS and stuff, but... Hell yeah, Reaper. We're not doxing tonight, though, brother. I've got... I was trying to add all these new things. Like, I want to get back on Twitch as well. And I was trying to get my Twitch put together, and then I didn't have Nightbot ready for Twitch, and I didn't have, like, the things ready for Twitch, and I was like, it's not going to make sense. It's not going to make sense. So, when we're actually playing Wardogs this weekend, I knew the quality of the field was going to be trash. When I was playing, when we're going to be playing Wardogs this weekend, I'll be streaming on both. But, and maybe I'll pop in on a stream tomorrow just to test it out, make sure everything's working right. But I'll be streaming on both come this weekend. Yeah, I just wish War Thunder wouldn't. I mean, even the realistic flight model, like the realistic flight model that you can put you in, is still not anything. I do like the weight system though, if that is making sense. Like, I know I'm like kind of ragging on it, but like the Hind, for example, it doesn't like to do a vertical takeoff. Well, a Hind, realistically, it doesn't like to do a vertical takeoff anyways because they're so heavy. So it's got give and take. It's got realistic elements, but the flight itself is pretty arcadey in War Thunder, in my opinion. Dude, yeah, the F-18 panel champagne. Yeah, no, I mean, there's always stuff in the flight sim, the racing sim world that, like, you're like, ooh, that thing's nice, and then you keep looking at it, and you keep looking at it, then you put it in your cart, you keep looking at it, and you don't buy it, and you keep looking at it, and 2 months later, it's sitting in your in the corner of your room. No, owning a helicopter is not cheaper. Owning a helicopter is way more expensive than owning an airplane, because parts time out, and parts time out a lot faster, and you got to replace everything every so often. Owning a helicopter is absolutely rich people activities. Well, Champagne, if you got the means to do it, brother, the X56 is good, but if you want to upgrade, go for it. I mean, you can, as I was just doing, kamikaze, you can crop dust. I mean, there's a lot of things people don't consider. You can crop dust. You can dry cherries, believe it or not. The places that have like the cherry farming and the dew and all that gets on them, and they'll get frost. So they have helicopter pilots go out and dry them. They do rice fields too. You can do hog hunting. You can do animal capture for wildlife scientists. Like, you'll go out and like somebody hangs off the side with a net gun. There's all kinds of things you can do in the helicopter world that people just aren't aware of. Like, because it just, nobody talks about it. But the big ones, you know, EMS, law enforcement, those ones are like, everybody knows about them. Everybody sees them. News helicopters. You can get into like TV helicopters, movie helicopters. There's all kinds of things. It's like a really long list. You can do logging. They like hang giant chainsaws off of them and cut the cut the trees down that are in branches that are along the power lines. Then you got power line dudes that will hover right next to the power line while a dude hangs off the side or even dangles from beneath it and works on the power line. I mean, there's so much. There's so much. I'm nowhere near that yet. So, but there's a lot that you can do. Let's see if there's trees here, because sometimes the game will just spawn them in trees and it's impossible. Yeah, this is the whole world, man. This I'm just going where my jobs are, but actually that one was in Canada. Yeah, you got access to the whole world. I'm not free flying right now. I'm doing the career, so I'm just going where the jobs are. Usually, though, these are like way too tree covered up in this Canadian area. They don't model it very well, and you can't pick them up. We'll swing one and try it out, see if it's going to be crazy. Ooh, 67,000 to bring a helicopter over? No thanks, never mind. We'll go to where the helicopter is, which I think it was over here. Yeah, that's my... Nope. That's my Cessna. What's this? Yeah, we can fly it through Canada for you real quick. Hold on. I got you. Turncoat, you're crazy. That's crazy. You missed a couple letters there, brother. You gotta guide me. You gotta guide me, Schlup. And there's a delay too, so good luck. Ontario? I can do Ontario. But you said Peterborough, right? Here. I looked up the identifier. What are we cruising in? Got a lot of options. I don't know how long my games went, Rip, but they did go, most of them went hour and a half plus, I feel like. I mean, that might be crazy with the longest one you've seen being 140. Some of them were pretty short. You know, if Lone Star stayed in their corner. Happened a lot. But because the delay is so fat, I'm just going to grab a helicopter. Let's see. I don't know if I have the control set up for this one or not since I got my new stick. We'll see. An Airbus? You're... Oh, yeah. Well, we already grabbed the Hughes, so... Rip. Don't worry. We're going to fix the weather. Flashbang. Ooh. Drones taking over chunks of the industry, I mean, it's bound to happen, but it's gonna, I mean, if you look at like the military, right, people were saying, oh, drones are going to take over XYZ, and they are supplemental, but they didn't take anything over really. You know, it's a matter of time, surely, but people are going to want pilots doing a lot of stuff, you know. No one, it's going to be a long, long time, like probably 20 plus years before somebody is willing to get into a helicopter that's AI to take them on a tour without a pilot, or to pick them up when they have a broken leg from a car accident and they're bleeding out. Like stuff like that, people are going to want a human being at the seat for a long time from now. And they're like, people aren't going to trust the drones and the AI and all that taking over that yet. Is it eventually going to become a thing? Maybe, but I see it more augmenting into the pilot experience and making the pilot's job less task saturated. So, you know, AI will handle well, like maybe preparing radio frequencies or getting the GPS ready on its own. Like it's going to know where you're going to go. Like you can just pre-program it. Because you know when you're flying, you're doing a lot. You're handling radios, you're changing frequencies, you're getting your GPS ready, and that's just the civilian side. I mean, the military is doing even more. So I think AI and that whole situation is going to supplement, and then drones are going to take over small jobs, right? So like small field crop dusting or other things. And then the FAA continues to crack down on drones too. So it's give and take. Like Amazon got a bunch of drones, and they're doing drone deliveries, but they're smacking into everything right now. So it just depends. It's a matter of time. We'll see where it goes. But I'm not really too concerned about it. Okay, now Schlep wants me to go north. Let's see how far north we got to go to get to where he wants me to go. Yeah, so I don't expect Wardogs to ever have VR venture, but who knows? I didn't expect them to have full OTAS support, so. Right, Slurm. Like that's what I'm getting at is like the military gets it, and the military hasn't even been taken over by drones entirely yet. You know, they are cutting back on their helicopter forces, but you can argue that that's because of recent events of current wars and what they're seeing happening to traditional helicopters. So they're like, well, maybe we just stay on the ground. I'm not a military tactician, so I don't know, but just a guess. Well, they're also cutting down on what drones can be used too. Like the American government recently cut down hard on, or they've been trying to, but I think more recently there's more legislation that's come out against DJI and other, drones manufactured outside the United States. So we'll see how that goes. Hell yeah, Badger. You can't go wrong with the Gladiator. A lot of people grab the Gladiator, and it's really nice, I've heard. I don't have any VKB, and I've never used it, but it looks pretty tough. Hell yeah, Kamikaze. That's the one thing. I had a recruiter talk to me about going street to seat, and I was like, yeah, I'm going to go to college, bro. I'm going to do my thing. And then I ended up leaving what I was doing for 7 years to come be a helicopter pilot. So here we are. I didn't know the civilian side, like I didn't know how any of it worked back then. I didn't even know it existed, like to the extent that it does. It was this accessible. And when I say accessible, I don't mean the money. The money's not accessible, but. Is this the river you wanted, Schlup? Yeah, this is Microsoft Flight Sim 2024. I'm just doing something a little different today instead of Arma. I'll switch it up here in a little bit though, don't worry. Well, yeah, that's pretty cool, Rotten. I'm already flying first person constantly, so it won't change anything for me. Dude, another person with a Gladiator. Yeah, hell yeah. All right, Elements, I see you. See, what I want all of you to do is I need to have clips of you guys just absolutely eating it when you first get it so that we can all celebrate how much better you are later. I'm trying to get in the devs' ears. A bunch of devs just bought a bunch. Or I say a bunch, but I've seen a couple of devs or like people working with the game, like Flack had bought one. And I really want to get clips of them just absolutely eating it so that we can just celebrate how great they become. Or not become. I am not a vet. Nope. I did not go to the military. had the opportunity, and I said no thanks because I thought I had life figured out. All right, let's do a search and rescue, huh? I flew around Canada for old Schleppy boy. Yeah, I've got a Discord. If you do ! Discord, it should be a new invite. It wasn't working last time, apparently. If you just do a Discord command, it should pop right up. Yeah, dude. I'll get you next time, Schlepp, as well. I'm sure you were looking for me to go more like up here. We ended up doing like a like a that way. I am trying to be better about the Discord. I used to do streams for Hunt Showdown, and I was doing content for that years ago. And then I completely stopped. Went back to just doing full-time work. And then every time I get free time, basically I end up streaming or making content, and it's not going away this time. I came back to it like 8 months ago, 9 months ago now maybe, and did that for a little bit. I still have the Discord from when I was here 9-10 months ago, and I had gotten it towards the end, and I wasn't very I didn't do a lot of upkeep. So, and I have 2 of my accounts in there. I've got like my main like businessy account, and then this account's in there. So you'll hear from both my accounts. Spider-Man, you know, pointing at each other meme type situation. Yeah, I'm a big fan of Hunt. I like extraction shooters a lot. Tarkov is too complicated for me. I'm a small brain, so I don't even know where the extracts are. Every time I play, I'm like asking my friends, where am I? Like I double tap O to pull them up. I'm like, where do I go? And I'm sure they're sick of it at this point. And I usually get head tapped by a sniper, scav, or somebody the second I walk away. Now, this must have been my search and rescue helicopter, because look at all this. Yeah, we're just gonna grab one of those. I do play DCS. I'm actually planning to switch to that at some point. I might even get halfway through this flight and then be like, yeah, time to switch. I've got every helicopter in the game except for the Gazelle. I just don't see a reason to buy it. Well, I mean, I feel like that with a lot of like the War Thunder and Stalker, and they follow the same theme of let's be complicated for no reason sometimes. War Thunder's biggest problem is they just want your money. And yes, my search and rescue company in the game is called Plan B, because obviously Plan A didn't work. We're lost. The Huey's a great starter, Chris. A lot of people start out with the Huey in that game, and it's really good. It's pretty forgiving, except for the when you lose your rotor sometimes from the mass bumping situation going on. That can suck. Nope, I didn't want to get in. Nope. I might have snagged it at the last second there. I did. It's not even letting me use my mouse. There we go. Yeah, Tarkov, well, it's just map knowledge. You're not wrong. You're definitely not wrong. I've played Space Sims. I liked Star Citizen a lot. I got really into it. And then I did like 6 hours of work of doing cargo runs and stuff. And I was flying back to a hangar, and the hangar glitched, and I got inside, and then I just magically exploded and lost 6 hours of work and haven't played the game again. And, you know, recent streams of theirs didn't go too well for them, huh? Dude, the cool thing about the Apache, Adam, is you can have George, which is the AI's name. You can have George fly it pretty much everywhere for you. You can just be the gunner up front. So that's cool. What's up, Milsom JD? Yeah, dude, but like I don't want that to be my... Chris said, welcome to Star Citizen, which true, like that's the experience, but like I don't want that. Nobody wants that. I'm also not gonna... Ooh, wow. We're not gonna do any of the ATC stuff. I can't be bothered right now. We're just gonna take off and go. Oh, never mind. I did have to do the ATC stuff to get my crew. There's mods for this too that are much better at the search and rescue and all that. I just figured this would be quick and simple for us to rip through. From what I remember, Star Citizen was pretty demanding all around. Your whole PC wants to scream. Is it really fun? Yes. Is it really buggy and broken? Yes. Yeah, it's I mean, we're just getting... We live in a society, but we're just getting in a time where you have to have an SSD to play anything, really, that's graphically demanding. This time I do have to wait for my guy, so we'll be good and we'll chill. I somehow just made myself like 8 feet tall. Gotta fix that. There we go. Sometimes Nightbot gets confused, guys. So if you join the giveaway and it doesn't say something to you, you're on the list, I promise. I've got 58 people on the list right now, so you'll be fine. Yeah, I just referenced that, Slurm. It's crazy that I saw a theory today that it was an inside job and they knew it wasn't going to go well, but people didn't like. It's kind of one of those things where the suggestion or the idea is that the employees were telling their boss like, hey, this might not work the way you want it to, and there was a pushback. And it's all allegedly, because it was some other dude's YouTube video I saw, but he was saying that his theory is that there was an issue with the timing of everything and them not having stuff done and not being comfortable with doing it, and so they did it anyways. It's kind of like a malicious compliance thing is what this guy was suggesting, is that they did it anyways knowing it wasn't going to go well. But who's to say other than the people that were actually there, right? All right. It's not giving me anything to do, so I'm just going to take off. Hopefully this time it doesn't just ruin me. I had to pick up my boy, but I probably shouldn't have to do any ATC stuff without... Yeah, we're good to go. No, you're good, Slurm. Cypher. Well, now there's 61, so that wouldn't go well for you. 57, I mean, it would help your odds. So you have to be present in chat to win. So, and it'll pop up, like, I'll announce your name. So if you're not present, you get 5 minutes. After 5 minutes, I move on. Yeah, just be in chat. So I'll announce the name at midnight, or I'll pull the name at midnight, which is an hour from now. And then you get 5 minutes after I announce your name. So if people are nice enough to tag you, whatever, I'm not gonna put the effort in to hunt you down. But some people have been nice enough in chat to try to hunt people down. And if you respond back It'll tell me too. Like there's a timer that runs and everything. So if you respond back within that 5 minutes, it's yours. If you don't respond back within that 5 minutes, I'm re-rolling. So you do have to be present and you do have to be here in the chat for it. Now, personally, I don't care if you sign up now and come back at midnight. I'll never know that you did it that way. But I'm not saying you have to sit here and have X amount of watch hours or hang out with me, but you got to be here at midnight when the giveaway happens. That's the biggest thing. Tank Gunner would level up your tank class if I'm not mistaken, or whatever. Like if there's an armor class, that's kind of how it works for pilot or for the helicopter. I'm pretty sure the helicopter gunners, it was leveling up their helicopter skills. But obviously, I didn't do much ground, so somebody can definitely answer that with more authority than I can. Driving class, there you go. So we're looking for, usually it's orange, like a dude wearing orange or a chick wearing orange with a mirror they're flashing at us and some orange smoke that pops after a while. So if you see it before I do, let me know, because I'm pretty blind half the time when I do this. No, don't quote me on the tank class, because there's a pilot class. It makes sense that it would just be a driver class. Somebody said driver class. We're gonna trust that more than you're gonna trust me saying tank class, okay? Rip, we're gonna trust the guy who said driver, not me. Was it a pain to get the HOTAS set up in Wardogs? No, it was the easiest setup I've had in almost any game. You literally plug it in, you wiggle the controls where it wants you to for the like binding everything, and you're done. Now, there was an issue in the alpha, which I covered in my video, that should be fixed, hopefully, this time around, if not by the early access, where your key binds for the HOTAS, or your axis binds, would all get reset every time. Minor inconvenience, it takes 15 seconds to replace it, but it would be nice to not have to do that. Now, if we're nitpicking to that level on an alpha, we're doing fantastic as a game. You know, like the game is doing fantastic if that's what we're complaining about from an alpha. No, I mean, that's the whole reason. I have answered the question a million times, but it doesn't bother me. If it bothered me, I would tell you. It does not bother me to help. That's the whole reason this YouTube channel exists. I also wasn't looking at the ground at all in that last pass. So, we'll see if we ever find this person. What's the, is there anything cool you can get from Driver Zinger besides like a tank? Anything else that's cool? Is there like BTRs or anything like that that have been, or like APCs that have been teased? Or that already exist that I don't know of? I know I saw the artillery and I saw the tank. But I don't really look into the ground stuff and go out of my way to like learn about it. I will when the game comes out, or even in early access, but I have not been right now. I've just been purely focused on what they've been talking about for pilot stuff, and then like minor infantry things. Huh. Wherever you are, Hal, good morning. Question. Good answer. Best way make money using a heli. 100% transport. Transports, if you are going to keep everybody alive, 100% transport. The problem, oh hell yeah, Germany. I'm sorry if you've talked to me now. I've talked to a few Germans now, and I feel bad if I forgot that I spoke to you. Some big ass armored truck. Oh, dude, yeah, I think I saw that. It was the Ural that had the guns all over it, right? The gun truck. I'm still not doing anything to look for this person. We are the worst. The worst search and rescue right now. We might just give up and go to DCS. I'm just not feeling it. I've just been kind of cruising and chilling. Yes, Fez, the drawing is in 1 hour. You have to be present for it so you can leave and come back. But if your name gets called, you'd only get 5 minutes to say you're here. Yeah, we're going to go to DCS. We're going to hit a little switcheroo on it. I'm still here. I'm still yapping. Don't worry. I just have to get all the game changed over everything. You haven't seen any gameplay of what, Fire? Yeah, Chris, you can go a long time in those zones, and they'll be like tucked away in the smallest corner. And sometimes they won't even flash a mirror at you. It'll just wait for you to fly around for like 20 minutes hopelessly until they just pop a giant smoke that's like huge orange plume. I don't feel like I already wasn't looking. I was busy yapping. So we just weren't ever completing that one. And if I'm going to fly aimlessly and you guys have to watch it, we'll at least do we'll at least do some military flying. That's good, Rip, because that's all I'm good at. I had dudes, I was saying this earlier, I had dudes in my helicopter a few times during the alpha that when I would land, they'd say, "Why are you the way you are?" I didn't yap the whole flight, but I like to get hype. I'm there to have fun, you know? Well, dang, between Chris and Adam, we didn't miss shit, boys. We just we just didn't fly over them. I tell you, I wasn't looking like I should have been. So I'm glad you guys were. I need to figure out how I'm going to do this, because it's just, I think it's just in a black screen here, no? Yeah. Yeah, change it over. Boom. That should work. Yep, that worked. Let's go back. Yeah. No. Yeah. No, I'm not. I'm not LARPing, Rip. I'm just being me. People just don't like the energy sometimes. You'll see. You'll see come this weekend. If you fly in my servers, or if you come on my servers, or if you catch a stream this weekend, you'll see what I'm talking about. I'm a different character when I'm flying in that game. Games that have VoIP just get me going. Local chat just it just awakens something in me. Let me tell you. Can you cargo sling in Wardogs? I'm going to go ahead and say not yet. I'm not going to just say hard no, because they could definitely add it. I wouldn't be surprised if they did. Or I wouldn't be surprised if it already exists and just nobody figured it out, or if I didn't figure it out. You noticed there's a music radio in Wardogs. Yep, I noticed. So as you continue with your pilot level, possibly even driving level, I didn't look into that kind of skill tree thing. But as you get higher pilot levels, you get different cassette tapes of songs you can play in the helicopter. But you guys, I'm going to tell you a little secret that pilots don't like so far. You control as a passenger and take the tape out of the inventory of the helicopter to make it stop playing. So do with that information what you will. Any tips aiming the heli? The rocket heli just felt busted. Something was wrong with the yaw. I can't explain it. If that was their intention, I didn't like it. But the rocket heli was entirely different from the other two. So I think there was a setting that didn't get copied over. I mean, I still love it. It's fun to play, but out of the 3 helicopters, it was my least favorite to fly. And the miniguns just didn't do it for me. They weren't really hitting as hard as I wanted them to. So I had to fly rockets, and it just... That's why you'll see a lot of the clips people have of the rocket helis, is they're just holding one steady vector, whether it's straight or in a circle, because changing directions in them kind of sucked. The radios in the helicopters and stuff, I'm pretty sure you can turn those down, if not all the way off in the settings. I didn't look, though. Zinger, what does sling in that context mean? Like an underslung box, or like a crate. So like you hook a rope up to the bottom of the helicopter, hook it to a crate, and then you fly it into the zone on top of what you already have inside the helicopter. Have I done the MI8 oil field campaign cargo sling? I think I have a long time ago. Big fan of I like the Russian helicopters. Everybody sees the American ones all the time, so it's kind of fun to get in the Russian ones. Let's see. Some small stuff up there we can go hit if nobody else is going to beat me there. That's one of the bad parts about being a helicopter. Some people just beat you there. Ooh, a whole convoy coming. Yeah, we're going that way. Unless this F-14 is about to mess them up. Here, we'll watch the F-14 and see if they fire on this guy. Ooh, that's loud. He definitely intends to fire on the convoy. He's loaded with, I think, I got to tab back into the right. No, he could have gunned it, and he just used I think an AIM-9 on it. Oh well, back to what we were doing. Sorry for the audio there. I forgot how loud, absolutely ridiculously loud jets are. Yeah, he's going to turn back. He's going to try and there's a J-11 over there now too. They're just going to keep turn and burn on this convoy. So I'm going to go north. So hopefully they don't come mess with what I'm trying to do. No, not a friend of mine, but a friendly aircraft, yes. This is DCS, Digital Combat Simulator. Ooh, screen is like big time messed up. There we go. All right. I did not set my direction, but that's fine. We don't need to use all that other stuff. We don't need the laser on yet. And I want to clear the waypoints and get our map up. And then we're going to fly. that way. It's probably not going to save the way I need it to, but whatever. And we're going to be flying roughly 353 for 12 miles. Yep, I'm using Toby for head movement. Cool thing about this, so this is the Black Shark. It's the KA-50. It was a Russian, it's the Russian answer to the Apache, really. They didn't like that the Americans had an Apache, and they didn't like that it was two pilots, the pilot and the gunner. They thought it was inefficient, so they made a single pilot version, and they only really ever produced that made it out like to an actual, the front, or like into the military itself. I think it's somewhere between 20 and 30, I believe, units. And then they switched it to the KA-52. So they just made it fatter and gave it 2 seats. And because they determined finally that, yeah, you probably do need 2 pilots. And we need to get going 353 here. So basically direct north. And then we'll pull our wheels up as well. Any tips on how to steady the circle for continuous fire on target? Again, just pick a vector, pick an angle right now, and then just go for it. So a lot of times what you want to do with helicopters are called pop-up or bump attacks. And that's when you're low. I'll try to do it real quick while we're flying to this target to show you what I mean. Would VR be better? VR is better, and I'm going to start flying in VR on Twitch and YouTube when I stream for DCS. I just wasn't able to get it to where I could have chat, where I could see it today, and I wasn't able to get everything set up the way I wanted it. So it's a work in progress. I might test some VR tomorrow, but like for a short stream, and probably not this late, because I gotta get some sleep so that I don't sleep when Wardogs comes out. But Master, you had asked about best ways to keep your reticle on target. You just do strafing runs right now is the best option that I can tell you, and then bump attacks. So like we're low and we're fast right now. So if our target was just ahead of us, we would take our airspeed and use it to gain altitude just like this. It works the same in Wardogs. It slows us down a little bit so we can now get a good acquisition on our target. So like we'll look at this tree right here, and then now we can just hold right steady on the tree because we bumped up. And so the tree's right in front of us the whole time. And then what you want to do, you don't want to overfly the target if you can help it, if you're doing a bump attack, because now you're slow. You want to break off to one side and then get your airspeed back by dropping. You want to drop hard and get your airspeed back. And when you get your airspeed back, you want to take a nice wide arc out and away. And I'm not, again, not a military tactician, was not in the military. This is all gaming stuff. So before somebody says, well, I'm just telling you what's been working for me in games. You just do a nice wide arc and attack from a new angle. I don't think it's 12 hours, Tlup, because it's supposed to come out on Friday. Tomorrow's the thing. I think you're on 20. Well, is it? No, it doesn't come out today. Today's Thursday. See, now you've got me messed up. But well, no, the hours away from right now doesn't depend on time zone. The time of day does, but not the hours away from right now, because it releases for everybody at the same exact time. That's why it's UTC. So 12 hours from now shouldn't be game release, because it's supposed to release on Friday at noon for me, not Thursday. Yeah, it's the 20th, so it'd be 36 hours. Yeah, so today's now going to be the 20th coming up. So it's like 36 hours away, not 12, you goober. Right. Well, the time of day is going to be different, Rip. But the time that it is from now is not different for us. Does that make sense? Like, we're all going to wait X amount of hours It's just going to be a different time of day for us because time zones exist. Chris, yes, it releases early access September 10th. However, the beta is going to be open or closed beta this weekend, starting on Friday. No, Rip, we're not talking about release. Chalop had said 12 hours until the beta. So, like somebody here has to be tracking this. No, it's gonna be noon. It was the last I saw. Noon my time. I think it's releasing the same exact as last time. For the alpha. Somebody go find Kiwi. Go find Kiwi. Those of you in the Discord know. Just go find Kiwi. Kiwi will get you set up. We're going way off target because we're yapping. Right. So the timer in the Discord, Rip, shows a different time for everybody. So it'll say 10 a.m. your time. I can look at that same exact timer, the one that's in gray, and it'll be my time. That's the way Discord codes it. We are cooking right now, and we're still not probably tracking the way we need to. Oh no, we're tracking correctly now. We just need to slow down so we don't blow our rotors off. I could be wrong. It might not be noon. 1 p.m. EDT. So yeah, noon my time because I'm central. So if it's 1 for Eastern, it's noon for me. So then it's 36 hours from, well, 37 hours from right now. If I'm doing my math, which I was never good at math, so don't quote me. No, I wish it was midnight, big dog. It's midnight for somebody out there. Oh, you mean the giveaway? No, you don't. You said 12 hours. You do not mean the giveaway. The giveaway is at midnight. See, now we're all over the place. Giveaway is an 40 minutes away, and that will happen at midnight. All right, we got to lock in because I think they did have... Oh, no, they don't have anything. Well, the tank can hurt me, but really nothing else. We got to find that guy, though. That's for sure one of them. We'll lock him up real quick. Let me turn my laser on. Okay, he's locked. Get our rockets ready, or our missile rather. I just got to line up the 2 circles. And 1 away. And we watch the TV. Boom. Now we gotta find this other guy. There he is. He's trying to run. Or he was moving there for a second. We gotta line up the circles again. And away. So these are Vickers missiles. They're laser beaming Russian missiles that kind of operate. I mean, layman's terms, they operate kind of like a Hellfire, but they're not operating like a Hellfire at all. But it's like the Russian equivalent, basically. And I need to move that target up. We got to realign that because I was shooting too low. Okay, he's gone. The rest are Urals and AKs, so unless there's a hidden stinger, we're okay. We'll just use guns and rockets on the rest.
Watch Ekran.
Infantry there, not too worried about them. Really not worried about anything that's left over here. Yep, that's that. Oh, let's have some fun. Oh, it's not letting me shoot them. Yeah, I didn't have my rockets ready actually, so take some AK rounds here. It's fine. It's a Russian helicopter. Can eat some rounds. My head tracking just cut off. That's cool. Feels like I just lost an arm. And I don't have any bind set up to aim now. Or to even look around the cockpit. So that's cool. There we go. We got rockets ready to go. We'll just have to try and rocket run it. Because I can't aim the gun with my head anymore. Have to troubleshoot that here in a second. That should be both of them gone. And then we'll go take care of the Urals. I am Central Time. I live in Texas. Those are going to be short. Oh, one of them was dead on, actually. Never mind. Uh-oh. Oh, we got our head tracking back. Now we're just super zoomed in for no good reason. Yeah, that's the best part of Wardogs, Hal. Everything matters. You can goof off, but that's going to hurt the team. Like, also doesn't hurt the team that much because everybody else is helping, right? So, like, if a few people want to goof off, cool. If everybody wants, if 5 people want to do transports, cool. It's just chill overall, too. Like, there weren't that many people that were getting butthurt about how somebody else was playing, so I liked that, too. I can't believe that didn't hit. No, that did hit. Now he's gone. So the way it works is now somebody with a logistics helicopter, like a Chinook or a Hind, something like that, will fly up here, drop off troops, and then we'll capture this zone right here. And then we'll be able to FARP out of it and stuff like that. So we're just on our flight home now. So I can yap more, not focus on killing tanks. Yeah, I'm attacking AI. All the ground vehicles are AI. They can be controlled by people, but not in this server. This is just a foothold server. So basically, it's just an advancing attack. They can counterattack and send aircraft after you too. They're not defenseless. These guys had already gotten hit by somebody else. That's why there were so few of them. Usually there's a lot of dudes at one point. So I'm sure the tanks were either out of ammo or just too damaged to fight back. And I was firing at them from pretty far out of range. But it's multiplayer, so there's guys on my team that are real. But then there's the other team is all not real on this server. But there's servers that are PvP as well. Yeah, I've never been too good at math, but I know enough. I know enough that 12 hours was crazy, because if it was 12 hours, I'd be way more hype right now for Wardogs. Not that I'm not, but Yeah, this is DCS, Frost. I'm flying in the Black Shark right now.
Watch ekran.
Yeah, Rip, I've been in a heli this whole time. This thing just cooks. So you probably were like, oh, he's moving too fast to be in a heli. This is one of the faster ones. You can swap, you can use AI to be in the other seat. So like if I got in the Apache, the guy's name is George, is what we call him. So you can just tell George to find targets and he'll kill them. You just gotta worry about flying the helicopter and vice versa. You can just be the gunner up front and tell George to fly you somewhere and you can take care of it that way. Or you can have another player up front in the gunner seat and vice versa, a player flying you around. So there's a lot of options. DCS is very, 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 very sim though. So like how Wardogs is simcade, this is like the farthest, I don't want to say farthest possible, but it's pretty much on the farthest possible opposite end of the spectrum of simulation. It's got a bunch of helicopter physics modeled in. So the Huey is actually part of the game. They're all, no, there's wind in this game and everything. Granted, you know, it's not one-to-one with real life. You don't get loss of tail rotor effectiveness and things like that just because the way the wind's blowing. So for those that don't know, just real brief, not that it really needs to be gone over, but the tail rotor provides thrust that stops you from spinning out because of your main rotor, basically, like the most layman's terms. That's why you have a tail rotor, is so you don't spin like crazy, because the equal and opposite reaction of the main rotor, essentially. So it pushes with anti-torque, which is why it's called that. And then if the wind blows a very specific way that it interferes with the tail rotor and its ability to produce thrust, it will cause the helicopter to turn and spin and lose some effectiveness of the tail rotor. And it's called loss of tail rotor effectiveness, and it can be caused just by a wind from your left in certain helicopters. It just depends how the helicopter's set up. Most American helicopters would be a wind from your left. Yeah, I do say all that while flying a dual rotor. Yeah, you can be in the giveaway from Sweden Master. I would just have to send you a gift card instead of the game itself, because Steam doesn't like when you send games to regions where it costs more or less. Probably just more, because they want their money. They don't care if you pay more for something. So it's beeping at me for two reasons. Earlier it beeped at me because of my radar altitude was getting too low, so it's pinging the ground and saying, hey, we're X amount of feet off the ground. Don't be stupid and crash. And then the constant beep that you're hearing, the beep, 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 is the rotor system is warning me of overspeed. Yeah, so I have my my PPL helicopter. I am time building and doing instrument now. So I did a career swap over to helicopters. And helicopters are very expensive, so it takes time to do these things. Now, I'm not a genius. I'm not the end-all be-all. I'm not super pilot. Don't get the wrong ideas. So don't run around being like, oh, he's talking about helicopter stuff on his stream. He's a real pilot. I am a real pilot, but I'm not teaching things that are real, because this is a game. Yeah, I wish I was paying disco flight prices for flight training, let me tell you. Yeah, 24-hour stream is crazy, bro. Actually insane. My wife would hate me if I did a 24-hour stream. Now I landed at our base, so I wait 10 seconds, so it'll give me my rewards for surviving, which is barely anything because we didn't do much. And then I will swap over and we'll take troops up there to take the zone. And then by the time we get there and have the troops out, we might be able to just do the giveaway at that point. I mean, I'm waiting till midnight, don't get me wrong, but it might be midnight by the time I get up there with the troops. Oh wait, there's a Blackhawk already flying there, so I don't even have to do it. We can just go attack something else. You guys, you wanna, let's do Hind, huh? Don't want R60s. So this game has like weight modeled in. So you have to worry about how much you weigh before you fly. So you gotta like take fuel and ammo out sometimes or take payload off. But you can also do just a heavy takeoff where it's a rolling takeoff, which Hinds already like those anyways. So you can be a little fat in a Hind and get away with it. Just don't try to hover. If you try to hover, you're gonna die. Never played war games. Fly FPV drones and RC planes. About this weekend, bought live trailers with search to arrive before EA launched. I mean, it's pretty intuitive, especially if you already fly using other stuff. And to be honest with you, if you have FPV controllers, there was a dude who told me, I can't confirm it, but he said it, that he used his FPV controller to fly in the game, and he said it worked great. So maybe you give that a try. The Hind is a little bit older, so I got to do a little bit more before we take off. So my front seater in the game is called Petrovich. He is my gunner, and I just told him to arm the weapons. All right, so we need to go. We can go snipe those two tanks about 10 miles away, 057. So I gotta like hunch around to see stuff. I'm used to flying this in VR. This is not a campaign. This is Foothold. I'm playing on the contention servers. Or not contention. Return Pre-Contact is the name. It's a all human team versus AI. So you don't have to deal with a bunch of people being goobers and hunting you down in a helicopter. Oh, you know what? We gotta turn the fan on. It's like +10 combat effectiveness to have the fan on. It's free. It's not really free. You can check it out. You can fly. If you don't do it through Steam. If you get DCS or if you get interested in DCS, don't get it through Steam. Do it through their website, because Steam doesn't let you do the trials. And so most of their aircraft you can trial for 2 weeks at a time for completely for free. And then you have to wait 6 months to trial that same aircraft again. But every aircraft that you can trial for 2 weeks. So it's not like you trial one and then you can't do any for 6 months. You just can't do the same one again. Our weapons still aren't warmed up and I have the tanks in sight, so that's going to be a problem. Oh, yeet, this is like way complex for Wardogs. No, I'm not mentally preparing for Wardogs. I'm just stuck waiting. All right. Weapons are ready. So I'm telling him to search. He's going to find the targets as soon as he can. All right. He's got them. Boom. So I just make the circle line up with the crosshair and then I tell him to fire. So that's what just happened. And we don't get to watch it, unfortunately, but he'll tell us if he hits or not. I don't use any keyboard when I'm flying outside of like random keybinds. He thinks he needs to fire again, but I don't think he does. Maybe he did need to fire again. So I don't use the keyboard to fly or anything. I just use it to type or, you know, your basic keyboard needs. Most stuff I have bound to my collective and my other peripherals. We just need to shoot at the other thing. If he's gonna find it in time. Well, he's not finding it in time. Oh, that's probably because they're both dead. Yeah, I have a picture of my full setup on my YouTube. If you go to my community section or my posts, it's in there. That's your best way to see it. It's in the Discord as well, but it's like so slogged down behind stuff. If you just go to the community page, you should see it there. So I mentioned this earlier, say you win the giveaway but already own a copy. Would I be able to send a new copy to my brother instead of me? Potentially. I don't know that Steam allows you to re-gift it, but I wouldn't be opposed to sending it to somebody that you want me to send it to, because it's ultimately it's yours. So if you want to send it to somebody else, I'll verify. So I'll tell you guys what I do. We're gonna love the Ruski Gunner, yeah, dude. So I'm going to do the drawing. Whoever it is responds within 5 minutes. If they do, it helps if you're already in the Wardogs Discord. So please, if you think you're going to win, which hopefully everybody does, get in the Wardogs Discord. If you're not, you wouldn't be here in the stream if you weren't hyped for Wardogs anyways, so get in there. That way you can just quickly message me on Discord. We'll message each other on Discord. I'll give you something to put in chat here so that I can confirm the person on Discord is indeed the person that won the item. and then from there we'll figure out where is it going. Is it a friend? Is it you? If you're in the US, I can gift you the game straight up on Steam. If you're not in the US, that's a Su-24. If you're not in the US, I have to send you a gift card of equal value of the game. So a 50 USD gift card I'll send to you. If for some reason there's a massive difference, or there is a difference in price of the game where you're at from the 50 USD, I will try to cover it for you. Nobody has gone for it. People have not really bothered with the $3 or $4. But this is not me saying don't ask me for it. If you want the money because you won the game, I will send you the extra money. I wouldn't be doing the giveaway if I was that strapped. Either Discord. You can join Wardogs or mine. It's probably just smarter for you to join the Wardogs one though, because you're already hyped for the game anyways if you're here. Don't message in the Discord, just join it so we have a mutual server together, so that we can chat. I have it turned off to where people can't chat with me if they're not in a mutual server. Hell yeah, ducking. All right, let's see what we can do here. The jet shouldn't bother with me. We need to turn 130. There's a ZSU there that could be bad for us. ZSUs are anti-air for those that aren't initiated. I also have the Wardogs server. If you guys want to hit that too, you can do, it should just be like ! Wardogs Discord.
Включил наблюдение, выполняю поиск. К поиску целей приступил. Начал поиск.
I really need him to move the site. I really need him to do his job right now because we're flying up on that ZSU.
К поиску целей приступил.
Nope, not worried about any of those. Let's scan again, brother.
К поиску целей приступил.
Not the Ural for sure. Ooh, the SA is a problem. Yep. That's a actual missile launcher.
Пока далеко. Давай ближе.
He lost it. That's not good.
Начал поиск. Командир, цель сопровождаю. Пока далеко.
Okay, he keeps losing it. And my sight isn't moving for some reason.
Выполняю поиск.
Alright, we're going to go after the ZSU because I know that's right in front of us.
Пока далеко.
Oh, that's why the sight's not moving.
Наблюдение выключил.
That was all my fault.
Веду наблюдение.
I wasn't using my
Выполняю
eyeballs.
поиск.
We're going to get right on top of the ZSU. It's not going to be good for us.
К поиску целей приступил.
Oh, there's two ZSUs. We're going to fire at one and then just racetrack away probably.
Командир, к работе готов.
The problem with the Hind is that it's TV guided. So the gunner is actually controlling the missile all the way in. So I can't really do many control inputs. I have to try to hold very stable. So I can't like break away like you could
Наблюдение выключил.
with an Apache or the Black Shark where the laser is constantly beaming. Even at a weird angle, the camera can still see it. I have to have my gunner manually controlling it. So I've got to fly straight at him. The flight model with Wardogs, basically only flown in squad, and a couple of your vids have mentioned is a blend of squad and Arma. Yes, so the squad and Arma blend comes from the fact of, oh, we're getting shot by the ZSUs. It comes from the fact that a helicopter is very heavy in the game. They feel heavier than Arma. So that's kind of where I'm getting at with the squad portion is there's inertia and momentum, kind of like what Arma had, but with the feeling of flight that Arma has. And then for the keyboard guys, they've said it feels like Reforger. So that's why I throw the Reforger in there. Me being on HOTAS, I don't feel too much Reforger in it. I mean, you can get away with some Reforger level physics sometimes, but it feels a lot like Arma with like an inertia or momentum system of squad. Not the flight model of squad though, because that freaks people out. I also was not a squad pilot. I couldn't get behind it, so I can see why it freaks people out when I say that. But it's honestly the better part of what squad had to offer. Yeah, I played BF6. I'm a big Battlefield guy. I just it doesn't scratch the itch anymore. I don't know if it's just nostalgia from 3 and 4 have ruined it for me,
Целей. Приступил.
or if it's just other games have scratched that itch now, you know, like Arma exists, and I didn't have Arma back then, right? So
Готов к работе.
I'm ready to fire. What's the problem? Uh-oh, did we get our... No, they're all still there. I don't know. Battlefield just doesn't scratch the itch anymore for like the large-scale combat that it used to for me. That's what I'm getting at. Is it similar weight than what? Sorry,
Наблюдение выключил.
I missed your question. I'm trying to keep up while also killing these things. For some reason it's... Maybe I just needed him to lock again. He wasn't beaming.
Наблюдение включил. Ракета справа.
Oh, that's bad.
Один
That's
час.
bad. We're dead. We're dead. Oh, we dodged it.
Командир,
No, we
туры больше
didn't.
нет.
We're dead. Oh. Okay. We might have ate one or it exploded prematurely, and the second one completely missed. So the flares worked on the second one. There you go. Duckin said on keyboard it feels like a floaty Arma 3. That's with all the assists on, though, I bet. Did you turn any assists off, Duckin? That Su-34 is firing on somebody, and hopefully it's not me. His profile doesn't look like it's me, so... Oh, that SA-18 is about to be a problem. We're probably dead here. We flew way too close to this group of guys. Especially with that ZSU right there. We're just going to have to break right and reapproach. Why did I upgrade from... Oh, and rotors just done touch the ground because I was reading chat. Let's see. Why did you upgrade from Thrustmaster to Moza? Well, the Thrustmaster I had was... Let me get away from that loud jet. The Thrustmaster I had was the Warthog, and even though the Warthog has a high price tag, it is a mid-tier stick. I have been flight simming for a long time, and I decided that I wanted to get something nice, so I went Moza for the force feedback, and it's nice. I like it. That's the only thing. I wanted force feedback, and I have only ever had my first edition of pedals. I've had the TFRP pedals for over 5 years, so it was just time to upgrade them. And, you know, when you're on the website, you just keep clicking kind of thing. There's a convoy coming out. We could take an Apache up real quick. That's not a fob, though. He's about to get hit by a Patriot. Oh, he dodged it. Are they going to fire more? Force feedback is like the steering wheels that people have is the easiest way to explain it. Like the sim steering wheels that people get where like it feels like real driving, where it's like pushing back against you like the car is on the actual road. It does the same thing with the stick. I have a base that has gears in it. I think it's gears that are doing their thing to make the stick have some resistance to it at times, or like bounce around from crashes, or if you're shooting the gun it'll bounce. Not totally super realistic for everything, but it's fun to have. So that convoy's coming right there. Our best bet, we'll grab a new helicopter every time. We'll go Apache this time. And I just want a fat loadout of the kilos. Oh, we'll take rockets as well. I don't want the pod. And I don't want the gas, but I want the extra ammo. All right. We'll try and get down there before the time for the giveaway. If we don't, we'll just land real quick and Run it. What kind of missions do I hope to fly with the heli? I just like flying. I didn't know how much I liked it until I started. I kind of was like, ooh, I'm interested in it. Let me try. But I really, really like just flying. So I'm down for literally anything. I don't see myself doing the bush stuff just because I have a family. So like, I'm not going to go, like there's dudes that'll go to the middle of Alaska in the middle of nowhere with scientists and fly them to and from research sites and stuff like that. Or on tuna boats where they'll go and spot the fish for them and come back and land. I'm not going to be that guy. I've got other stuff going on in my life that I can't afford to be that guy. But, you know, tour pilot, you know, eventually maybe a CFI, like, or an instructor is what that is. So I'll do literally anything pretty much, as long as I can still see my family at the end of the day, for the most part. EMS is a big goal, I think, for most people, like getting to that EMS level, but those are usually longer shifts. It depends on how the place runs it. Some places do like 24s. Some people do like 3 or 4 days, especially like oil rigs. I think they do like a week or 2 weeks at a time where they just sleep there and they don't work. It's kind of like airline pilots where they won't work the rest of the time. There's a big mix to it. She's gonna yap the whole flight, by the way. I forgot to warn you guys about that.
Fixed wing, 11 o'clock, searching. Fixed wing, 11 o'clock, searching. Fixed wing, 10 o'clock, searching. Fixed wing, 10 o'clock, searching.
Yeah, Frost. Crazy parts of Canada. Oh no, okay, you're talking about your thing. I thought you were talking about what's schlup from earlier. Never mind, you're talking about something totally different. My bad. Does force feedback work in Wardogs? Wardogs does not have native force feedback, but what the Moza software does is it kind of compensates for games that don't have it. So I can still set like certain parameters I want for it. It's just not super accurate to like what you're seeing on the game, obviously, but it still functions. Giveaway is indeed in 5 minutes. Yep, you are correct. My wife does not play games. She doesn't like flying. I took her on one helicopter flight and she was pretty much never again. My daughter loves flying in the helicopter. But no, my wife doesn't play games. She's a really dedicated nurse though. Really dedicated nurse.
Gun. 2 o'clock.
I do
6 o'clock.
I don't fly cargo for companies. Schlup. I'm still in training technically, so I have my private license, so I am a helicopter pilot. Many people don't ever advance from that point, not because they don't want to, just because they don't plan on getting a job. So if you don't need a job in flying, you don't necessarily need to advance past a private pilot. But I am time building to get my commercial as well as working on my instrument license. But it just takes time because it's a lot of money. And if you don't have all that money immediately saved up, you can't fly all the hours you want. So it's a back and forth of we have money, now we fly, now we don't have money, now we wait. Now we have money, now we fly, now we don't have money, now we wait. So it's an aggressive cycle of that.
Gun. 4 o'clock. Searching. Gun. 7 o'clock. Searching. Fixed wing. 4 o'clock. Searching. Gun. 7 o'clock. Searching. Gun. 9 o'clock.
Ducking, that's sick.
Searching. Gun.
I think there's only like 3 or 4, if that anymore, MI helicopters at all in the United States. There's an MI-24 that flies every now and again in Texas. I want to go see really bad. It depends on where you are, Master, but you can pay anywhere from like $400 or $500 a flight to $700 a flight. Or really anywhere from $300 to $700, depending on the helicopter.
Gun. 3 o'clock.
Per flight
Searching.
hour.
Gun.
Per flight hour. So if you're up there for like an hour and a half, you pay for that 30-minute block as well.
Searching.
And that's not counting, well, that is counting usually the instructor rate on top of it. But then you also have to pay for the ground school.
9 o'clock.
So you pay for all the training you get on the ground before and after the flight. It's expensive. It's not cheap, that's for sure.
Rotor RPM high.
We're just going to land real quick so we get this giveaway banged out here in a minute. Yeah, and by all means, I'm not an expert on any of this stuff, just so you guys know. Like, I am a dude that has a pilot's license, sure. and I have some basis of knowledge in it, but I'm not an expert by any means. I'm not an instructor. So some of the stuff I say along the way will probably be incorrect.
Fixed wing, 11 o'clock.
Although I try not to be. If you guys haven't gathered that already, I try to be pretty transparent about things. And when I am incorrect, I'll tell you I was incorrect, hopefully.
3 o'clock, searching. Fixed wing, 9 o'clock, searching.
All right. We're on the ground. We will hit one of these. Oh, no, this will work. I'm going to kill the game audio or turn it down so you don't have to hear her yap about the enemy air. Actually, never mind. We learned last time that we should just be on the BRB screen so that nobody can... I can't dox anybody by accident here. All right, this is the spam protection is off. There's 114 entries, so definitely some of these people aren't here. The rules again, you got to be here. You have to, and if you're not here, you have 5 minutes to get here. If you don't comment something in the chat within 5 minutes, I move on from you and I re-roll. If you win and you're from the United States, I can gift you the game straight up. We just have to message each other on Discord. I will send you a message, like a key phrase that I need you to put in chat here so I can confirm it's the same person. And then I will send the game wherever you tell me to. If you're not from the US, I will send you a gift card of equal value of the game after the same steps of talking in Discord, a key phrase being given, you putting it here, and then us confirming with each other where the product is going. So I have to add each other on Steam as well. Either way, I have to add you as a friend on Steam because I asked if I could get codes. They never responded to me, which is fair. So I didn't ask for free codes, mind you. I asked to pay for the codes because it's just easier to give out codes. But I don't know if they just don't have them or, you know, they get DM'd all the time too. So anyways, we're going to do it in 10 seconds. So get your last jumps in. This is the time. All right, here we go. Cynical Pixel. You got 5 minutes. Usually if they haven't responded in like a minute, they're not here. And I haven't seen that name in the chat at all. So it's not GG yet, guys. They might not be here. Stick around. You might get a chance after we. So this is historically what we've done here. I also forgot to explain. If we do this 3 times, which is crazy if it goes this way, but if we do this 3 times and it goes 3 times to somebody who's not here, we're going to clear everything out. Everybody who's still here is going to re-enter so that we guarantee a winner on the 4th time. Well, it tells you in the chat. If I show the screen, there's other stuff on my screens. And I don't want to dox people when they start messaging me. So no, I don't show the screen, but it tells you in the chat who won the giveaway. There is a chance. There's always a chance. Problem is, a bunch of people leave too after the first drawing, and then it just ends up. So again, I'm going to give it 15 minutes worth of drawings. So 3 different drawings. If all 3 of those go to somebody who's not here, then we will move on to just resetting everything. Everybody doing the Wardogs thing again to enter, and then we'll re-roll. That way it guarantees somebody's here. Well, yeah, you need to be present, so being awake is a big part of that. I never considered fixed wing. I've never been interested in fixed wing Frost. I don't know why. It's never at all ever been cool to me. Like jets, fighter jets and stuff are cool. But I've never been big on fixed wing anything. They're cool, but I don't want to fly them. Now, Cynical's got 2.5 minutes if they're coming.